The Megxit dream wasn't supposed to end like this. It was supposed to be the ultimate royal escape story. Freedom, power, wealth, global influence. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle walked away from the monarchy promising a future on their own terms. But what if the very moment they announced that dream was also the moment its collapse quietly began? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle once looked unstoppable. When Harry met Meghan in 2016, the relationship moved at lightning speed. Within months, the world was captivated. By 2017, they were engaged, and it felt as if a completely new chapter was opening for the monarchy.
It was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could barely let you finish proposing. I was like, can I say yes now?
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, can I say yes now? And then there was hugs and I had the ring in my finger and I was like, can I give you the ring? She goes, oh yes, the ring.
The fairy tale reached its peak in May 2018. Millions watched their wedding at Windsor Castle. The images were perfect. The smiles looked genuine. The future seemed limitless. Despite whispers about Meghan's Hollywood past and previous marriage, the public largely embraced the couple as a symbol of modernization and change. But behind the polished photographs, something far less glamorous was beginning to unfold. By late 2018, the headlines started changing. The glowing coverage faded. Questions appeared. Criticism intensified. Meghan found herself under relentless media scrutiny, while Harry watched events unfold with growing frustration. To him, the situation felt hauntingly familiar. Every negative headline appeared to echo painful memories connected to his mother, Princess Diana.
I think one of the hardest things to come to terms with is the fact that the people that chased her into the tunnel were the same people that were taking photographs of her while she was still dying on the back seat of the car. And William and I know that. We've been told that numerous times by people that know that was the case.
What made the situation more explosive was the contrast. Publicly, they still looked like the perfect royal couple. Privately, pressure appeared to be building at an alarming pace. And that's where the mystery begins. If everything was truly working, why were cracks appearing so quickly?
Rightly, because the people of this country don't like the fact that she's stolen our prince. And she's literally brainwashed him, blinkered him, and tied him down to his California mansion.
Throughout 2019, those cracks became impossible to ignore. Harry openly criticized media treatment during the South Africa tour. Meghan admitted she was struggling emotionally. For many viewers, it was a shocking confession. Here was a duchess living what appeared to be a dream life, yet openly admitting she wasn't okay.
It's a lot. So you add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's yeah, well, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay, but it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay, since it's really been a struggle?
Yes.
As their tour of southern Africa draws to a close, all eyes are now on the law courts back home. In her last speech in Johannesburg, was this a pointed reference?
In a world that can seem so aggressive, confrontational, and dangerous, you should know that you have the power to change it.
That moment changed everything. Suddenly, the fairy tale looked less like a success story and more like a pressure cooker. Then came another clue. By late 2019, Harry and Meghan skipped Christmas with the royal family. At the time, many dismissed it as a simple break. Looking back, it now appears to have been a warning sign. Then came January 8th, 2020, the day that changed the royal family forever. Without warning, Harry and Meghan bypassed traditional palace procedures and released a public statement announcing their intention to step back as senior royals. The statement sounded ambitious. They wanted financial independence. They wanted to split their lives between North America and Britain. Most importantly, they wanted a revolutionary arrangement that had never existed before. They wanted to keep parts of royal life while building a private commercial empire at the same time. But within hours, the situation exploded. Reports suggested senior royals had been caught off guard. Palace officials appeared unprepared. Suddenly, what had been presented as a carefully planned transition looked more like a crisis unfolding in real time. The reaction was immediate and fierce. Supporters praised the couple for seeking independence. Critics accused them of wanting royal privileges without royal responsibilities. And at the center of the storm was one controversial idea, the half-in, half-out model. Harry and Meghan wanted to continue representing the monarchy while also pursuing lucrative private opportunities. It sounded simple, but for the institution they were leaving behind, it represented something far bigger. The monarchy operates on clear boundaries. Public service and private profit are not supposed to overlap. Suddenly, the issue wasn't about one couple anymore. It became a question about the future structure of the crown itself. Then came the Sandringham Summit. Behind closed doors, Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Charles, and Prince William gathered to decide what happened next. This wasn't a family discussion. It was a battle over the future. And when the decision finally came, it was devastating for the vision Harry and Meghan had presented to the world. The half-in, half-out proposal was rejected. No part-time royal role. No blending monarchy with commercial business. No compromise. Within days, the centerpiece of the entire Megxit vision had already collapsed. The plan unveiled on January 8th was effectively gone before January was even over. And that raises the question that would soon haunt everything that followed. If their original plan failed almost immediately, what exactly was left? The answer arrived much faster than anyone expected, and it revealed the first shocking weakness in the entire Megxit dream. When Harry and Meghan announced financial independence in January 2020, there were no major deals in place, no Netflix agreement, no Spotify contract, no blockbuster publishing empire. The vision had been announced before the structure existed. Freedom sounded powerful, but freedom without a roadmap is a gamble, and suddenly it looked as though the couple had jumped first and planned the landing later. As the weeks unfolded, reality started crashing into the narrative. Security became a major issue. Funding questions emerged. The carefully crafted Sussex royal brand they hoped would become the foundation of their future was suddenly blocked. The word royal could no longer be commercially used after stepping back from royal duties. Just like that, another major pillar of the plan disappeared. First, the half-in, half-out model collapsed. Then, the branding strategy took a hit. Then, security questions exploded into public debate. One problem after another. One obstacle after another. And all of it happened before their new life had even properly begun. Yet somehow, by late 2020, the story seemed to flip again. Suddenly, huge deals started appearing. Netflix reportedly signed a massive agreement worth around $100 million. Spotify followed with another deal reportedly valued near $20 million. Speaking engagements generated enormous fees. Publishing agreements promised millions more. From the outside, it looked like Harry and Meghan had pulled off the impossible. Critics were silenced. Supporters celebrated. Headlines declared that the Sussexes were building a media empire capable of rivaling major celebrity brands. For a moment, it genuinely looked as though Megxit had succeeded. Then came March 2021, the Oprah interview. The interview became one of the most explosive royal broadcasts in modern history. Millions watched as Meghan described isolation, emotional struggles, and feeling unheard. Harry reinforced the narrative, portraying their departure as a necessity rather than a choice. The sympathy was immediate and powerful, especially in America. But hidden beneath the surge of support was something more dangerous. The interview transformed Harry and Meghan's story into their primary product. Their personal experiences became the engine powering books, documentaries, podcasts, interviews, and future content. That worked at first, but then the same story kept returning. The Netflix documentary arrived. The memoir Spare followed. More interviews surfaced. More revelations appeared. More family tensions were discussed. The audience listened, then listened again, then listened some more. And gradually, a different reaction emerged. What once felt shocking began feeling familiar. What once felt revealing began feeling repetitive. That shift proved critical because the business empire depended on storytelling. The deals weren't based simply on celebrity. They were based on the ability to continually generate compelling content. And by 2023, warning signs started flashing everywhere. The Spotify partnership collapsed. Critics questioned the limited amount of content produced. Industry voices became louder. Executives began discussing expectations versus delivery. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about potential anymore. It was about performance. And performance is where Hollywood becomes ruthless. Access can open doors. Fame can attract opportunities. But only results keep those opportunities alive. At the same time, reports of internal internal difficulties continued surfacing. Staff turnover became part of the conversation. Production challenges became part of the conversation. Industry criticism became part of the conversation. None of these stories alone could destroy a brand, but together they created a pattern. And patterns are dangerous because they shape perception. By 2024 and beyond, the narrative had completely changed. Instead of asking whether Harry and Meghan could build an empire, people began asking whether that empire had ever been structurally strong enough to survive. Every failed project added pressure. Every criticism added weight. Every setback fueled new questions. Then came the legal battles. Credibility suddenly became more important than popularity. Every statement mattered. Every contradiction mattered. Every inconsistency became magnified. And that's where the story reaches its most fascinating point, because the biggest challenge facing Harry and Meghan is no longer money, deals, or media coverage. It is trust. Trust from audiences. Trust from industry partners. Trust from institutions. Trust from the public. And once trust begins cracking, the damage spreads everywhere. Which brings us back to the question that started this entire story. Was Megxit destroyed by bad luck, impossible circumstances, and relentless scrutiny? Or was the collapse already hidden inside the original plan from the very beginning? Because when you trace every twist, every setback, every failed expectation, and every controversy back to its source, one uncomfortable possibility keeps appearing. The dream may not have fallen apart years later. It may have started falling apart the very moment it was announced. And if that's true, then the real story isn't about how the Megxit empire collapsed. The real story is whether it was ever truly standing at all. And even now, as new battles continue to emerge and new questions keep surfacing, that mystery remains unresolved, hanging over Harry and Meghan's future like a storm cloud that refuses to move.